So who is Archangel Raziel? And does he show up in the Bible? Alright guys, by this time today you probably have already read the interview with Archangel Raziel, but I just wanted to talk about him a little more because he is quite fascinating. So the name Raziel means mysteries of God or secrets of God, and while he doesn't appear really in the Bible, he is actually a very big figure in Jewish mysticism, specifically Kabbalah. And I'm not advocating here to do any kind of Kabbalah that is obviously closed to non-Jewish practitioners. However, Raziel still does exist as an angel, and angels kind of go where angels want to go. You can absolutely encounter pretty much any angel without having to dabble in closed practices, so keep that in mind. In fact, a great example of being able to work with Raziel without approaching Kabbalah topics is actually in something like Doreen Virtue's Angel Oracle deck. Here Raziel appears in 3 separate cards. He appears in Clairvoyance, he appears in Spiritual Understanding, and he appears in the Take Back Your Power card. Raziel is definitely someone who is dedicated to helping you understand these kind of mystical, magical components of the world that we live in. In these cards, they're very much about learning esoteric truths, because Raziel is someone who literally stands right beside God and has access to all of the things God writes down. As I say, God is a writer, and this world is kind of his big story, right? Just as Tolkien and George R.R. Martin are writing all of their worlds, this is God's big fantasy book, and in a way, Raziel has access to all of the things being written down, including the world spoilers. But he can help you obtain all of these different truths. There is a book called Sefer Raziel HaMalach, which is, the book of Raziel the Angel. This book wasn't written until the Middle Ages, but it does kind of retcon a few things, in that while Raziel doesn't officially appear anywhere in the actual Bible text, here he is described as having given Adam all of the truths of the world, including the power of voice and spoken word, which in Abrahamic magic, Jewish and Christian, is very important, spoken incantations. And he also, taught Elijah many of these things, and he showed Moses, the truth of the rock, basically, the truths of the world and the rock and the mountain that God had them on. So as you can see, Raziel knows a whole lot of stuff and wants to help humanity connect with this unseen world. For as much as people want to talk about magic being bad, there is and has always been that kind of line to walk between the banned magic, the forbidden magic, and the actually holy magic that exists in literally any religion. And I do mean every religion. Every religion at some point has had a concept of holy magic, usually done by officials like priests, and forbidden magic, which was that lowbrow witchcraft kind of stuff. Noticeably, there is an element of misogyny here, as these high-profile priests and court magicians were men, while witches were usually women and peasant folk. But nonetheless, as I was saying, you don't need to use any Kabbalah techniques to encounter Raziel, because like any other angel, like Michael, Gabriel, any of them, if you ask God to let him work with you, he will work with you. And if you just stay respectful and you just kind of listen to what he has to say, he can teach you a lot of interesting things. I never expected to find an angel that was quite literally about magic, but here he is. And so, if you're learning to not just use magic as a way to do your day-to-day things, but really unlock those secrets of the world, Raziel is your guy. And interestingly, like Metatron, he doesn't really have any one color associated with him. You might notice a rainbow of colors that come with Raziel, and you might notice maybe golden wings or any really bright, flashy colors. That's because, he's working with a lot of energy. He is a big energy. And because he's such a big energy, it might be overwhelming at first. So take it easy, go slow, and I would suggest just meditating with him, doing whatever it is that you need to do to contact him. In fact, if we look at the Clairvoyance card, you will see that his staff has multiple colors on it. And this also kind of links back to our previous discussion on ceremonial magic versus witchcraft, whereas with someone like Raziel, you definitely will be using magic less in, you know, the traditional witchcraft sense, more in the sense of leveling up, right? Growing your spiritual awareness, growing your spiritual consciousness, and really connecting with Source, however you define Source, be it God, be it the Spirit, be it anything like that. Raziel will help you understand how the universe works. He told Adam literally everything. Like, everything about how the universe works, the stars, everything. He can tell you a bunch of stuff too, if you really want to get hit with that blast of knowledge. And remember, if this kind of wisdom seems like a lot to you right now, there are other angels that you can contact, namely Uriel and Metatron, who have similar roles. And you'll notice by these names that mean, you know, Flame of God, Wisdom of God, a lot of these angels do just kind of carry these masks, these aspects of God. So at the end of the day, if you don't want to go to any angel, God's still there too. You can just ask him and he will answer whatever he thinks is fit to answer. But as we get into these more obscure archangels, you're definitely going to see a lot of interesting lore, and you're going to see how these kinds of angels over time get reinserted back into the biblical literature through folklore, through you know, any other kinds of scholarly work. It's very interesting to see how they kind of just pop up. And in fact, I believe it was a Catholic pope who once said that angels are a pain in the ass because there are so many of them with dozens and dozens and dozens of names. They just keep spawning because there are so many aspects of God himself. Infinite aspects. But with all that said, I do hope you guys check out the interview with Raziel if you haven't already, and I will see you guys soon for our next theological discussion, which I certainly do have a lot to talk about, so hope that helps you get a little bit more information on Raziel after today's interview, and I will see you guys later. Bye! By the way, if you want to see these videos 2 weeks earlier, consider subscribing to my Patreon, where you not only get all these videos, but also recipe cards, specific deity profiles, and lots of other interesting things to look at. Video tiers start at $10 a month, so definitely consider checking it out.